guy realizes I need to make more money. In order to make more money, I need to make videos. Oh, here's this guy. That's pretty cool. He's got graphics. He's got B-roll. Oh, wait a minute. He's driving. He shouldn't be driving while making a video. Wait a minute. This is stupid. Making videos is stupid. I'm going to go do something else. Welcome to another episode of Mindset Mastery. I am your host, AZ Araujo, and today's subject is how to lose on social media. Now, one of the things that I love about social media is how it allows us to connect, right, with family and friends. It allows us to stay connected with those that we most cherish, and also be able to see a greater possibility for ourselves, right? When we see what others are doing, it sometimes motivates us to go out and do the same. And I'm sure there's some downsides as well. There's a lot of downsides, actually, where the comparison game comes in, right? The comparison game comes in, and we start feeling like we're not worthy enough or smart enough or capable enough to be able to achieve those things that we see online. But one of the subjects that I want to focus on today is social media arguments. Social media arguments. You're never going to win those. You're never going to win. And I've seen plenty of them. And, I spend thousands of dollars on a monthly basis just promoting certain things that I want about the brokerage, and also our coaching and consulting company do the work. And one of the things that I noticed is that, people are quick to give their opinions, and sometimes they're not very nice. They can be very brutal at times, right? Very direct, and will try to pick apart everything that you're saying. And, for a long time, I used to get caught up in this, trying to defend my position, trying to defend my honor, right? It was just my ego speaking. It was simply that. Anytime we react to someone, it's because we want to defend our ego. We want to prove them wrong. But what ends up happening is we start going down the slippery slope where we can waste hours just going back and forth with people that we really don't know. They're complete strangers oftentimes. I don't get a lot of resistance from the people that know, like, and trust me. I don't, because we're on the same page oftentimes. And if they do, they don't take the time to really tell me that, at least not online. That's a conversation that it can be very private and something that I would consider. But you'll get that a lot, especially as you become a better marketer. Especially as you start exposing yourself out there, you'll get individuals that have their opinions. And I'm going to go through this process of why they give you their opinions to begin with, right? But before I get there, I want to just give you some statistics on how Facebook fights actually come about. And I was reading the statistic that that found that 15 to 20% of all adults and 25% of all teens actually engage in some type of interaction that resulted in friendships ending or arguments online. And it's very frequent, and we notice this. I think we've all been in a position where we're just scrolling through, and all of a sudden we see this topic, and there's probably like 100 comments going back and forth about everyone trying to assert their position. And what ends up happening is, like, you start seeing the true colors of individuals, people that you thought were, on the same path as you, only to realize that they think something completely different. And the reality is they have every right to be able to do that, right? But it's what you do and what you allow to happen when that occurs. I recently put out an ad for our brokerage, AZ & Associates, and I'm being recorded in my car. And one of my guys, Richard, he's recording me, and I'm talking as we're going from one location to the next. And it was a really good topic. I mean, if you really listen to the content, I think the people that can see beyond me driving and recording, right? And I wasn't doing it myself. I wasn't doing it with my camera. I was doing it with an individual next to me. I think that when people actually go to the root of the content, there's a lot of information there that can help an entrepreneur. It could definitely help out a realtor in this game. But I usually like to talk as an entrepreneur because that's what I consider myself. I've owned several businesses. I've owned several successful businesses, and I've been in the game a very long time, 15 plus years. I know a thing or two, and I've faced my fair share of disappointments and failures, but I've learned from all that. But what ends up happening is you'll always run into those individuals that have something to say. And I'm going to go through this process with you here in just a second. But in this particular comment, this individual, another realtor here locally in Phoenix, ends up saying something like, are you too busy? Are you too busy to actually record a proper video? What is it with all these individuals recording from their car? And, my first take on this was like, oh, I'm going to bash this dude. Like the audacity of this dude coming and trying to, tell me something about marketing. He has no idea. He has no idea of my journey. And the reality is he doesn't have an idea. So why would I take the time to try to bash him or get back with him or try to say something condescending? Because the first trigger in my mind was like, okay, I'm gonna look him up. I'm gonna find out how much he sells. I'm gonna look up his Facebook and see what he does to market. But I've been down this path before, and I found myself in arguments that I shouldn't have had. And I'll explain a couple more that I've had throughout the years. But it's one of those things that you have to understand that these oftentimes are complete strangers. They don't deserve your time. They don't deserve your energy. And that's what I decided to halt that at that particular moment, because I don't know his story. I don't know his insecurities. I don't know his journey. And for me to come back and personally attack him now, it's just going to be a waste of time. It's going to be pointless. And I don't know where it's going to escalate. But in fact, what I started doing is I just started going through this process of understanding the human psychology. And this is just my interpretation. Someone may have a different opinion, and that's okay. But anytime we get triggered to say something like that, right, it's because there is already a history of realizing that there's some changes that need to be made. So just because he went out there and blasted at me, right, or tried to condescend, have a condescending comment towards me, it didn't start there. It's not like he just stepped up to the computer and said, okay, I'm going to just start talking, crap to everybody online. There is something before that has triggered him to now have those feelings. And I'm going to go ahead and go all the way back and just my own assessment. This is how it typically works. Somewhere along the line, he discovered that he wants to grow. He needs to do more business, right? Or someone who's arguing with you has some type of history where they come to this realization. And for this gentleman, I believe that he had a discovery. I need more business. So his solution is, well, I need to be a better marketer. Maybe I need to record more videos. And if you've been in any training anywhere, you'll realize that that's the number one thing people say. Trainers, coaches, gurus are always saying how video is so important. So he has this embedded in his mind. So he already knows, hey, I need to make videos because I need to make more money. So he goes about and starts looking at how he can approach this game. And it's not so simple for those that are not used to it, right? So we'd rather resist it. We'd rather find ways why we shouldn't do it rather than ways to actually pull it off. So we start playing this comparison game. So first there was this discovery. His solution was, let me make some more videos. The comparison is, well, he sees this bearded dude in his car and he gets triggered, which is the next step, right? He says, well, yeah, I need to make videos. Let me see what everybody else is doing. And that's how most of our content comes about. Let's think about it. Everything that you've done on video, everything that you've posted is because you've got inspiration from somewhere else. And some of you just copied it, and that's okay. You just put your little twist to it. But in this case, there was a trigger for him. The trigger is, what the heck is this guy recording in his car? Why is he recording in his car? That's just one step closer for him to realize, for him to make an excuse why he shouldn't make a video. Because if it requires him to make one in the car, then no, that's blasphemous. I can't do that. Everybody else is doing that. And that was his comment. Everyone's doing it. But what that did is really trigger his insecurity or unwillingness to actually move forward. So that comment had nothing to do with me, nothing to do with the content, and everything to do with his insecurities about putting himself out there. It's hard. I get it. Hey, guys, it's not the easiest thing to do, especially as you start sharing more of your personal life. It's not an easy thing. As you start sharing your opinions that may completely, right, that may be completely opposite of your audience. So this insecurity now develops this opinion about me or anyone else who has created a video. That opinion is like, this is stupid. You shouldn't be doing it. This whole process is stupid. And what ends up happening is there's an outcome to that. Nothing changes for this gentleman. Nothing changes. So I got to understand that's an internal battle that he's fighting back and forth. It has nothing to do with me. And it has nothing to do with you when someone comes in and disagrees with you. Your job is to remove yourself from that disagreement, because it could go down this slippery slope where it sucks your energy and it makes you second guess yourself if I should put out another video. And it could be something as direct as this, or it could be something like, hey, you're kind of posting too much out there. It's cool. I love your content, which is a passive aggressive. But again, it has nothing to do with you. And it's more with the ability to execute more consistently than the person that's questioning you. That's what it really is. So I'm going to go ahead and summarize this whole process. Guy realizes I need to make more money. In order to make more money, I need to make videos. Oh, here's this guy. That's pretty cool. He's got graphics. He's got B-roll. Oh, wait a minute. He's driving. He shouldn't be driving while making a video. Wait a minute. This is stupid. Making videos is stupid. I'm going to go do something else. Do you see how that occurs? They'd rather vent their opinion on you so they can prove that their way of looking at things is the correct way and your way is incorrect. Here's the problem. A lot of you fall into that trap of believing their opinion. So you slow down the trajectory of your marketing or the consistency of your marketing. Well, I don't want to overwhelm my clients. I don't want to just constantly be out there. I don't want to annoy people. No, you fell into their trap. Their trigger and their objective, without them knowing, vindictively or not, I don't know, was to try to stop your progression. That's called the resistance. If you fall into that, that's your fault. But that's how it typically occurs. So our job is to be more aware, not to be sucked into these arguments online, because I could have easily been sucked into this argument when it has really nothing to do with me. Like, my business is growing. My life is abundant. Everything that I'm doing is swelling with abundance. It has nothing to do with me. As a matter of fact, I'm doing everything right. But at the moment I start paying attention to the resistance and trying to conform what others' opinions are, I will start taking a step towards my destruction, my lack of confidence. I'm just going to continue to do what I know works. Putting myself out there, being very, very deliberate about my consistency. And some people may have a problem. Your job is to not to fall into their beliefs and to their opinions. This is your page. It's your money you're investing. So my response was simply, after you put everything, are you too busy to record at a studio or make a proper video? I forget his exact words. Instead of combating at him, realizing that he's insecure, he's unwilling to take the appropriate action, I just said, yes. Period. Yes. Period. Which is, I'm too busy to record off a studio. But I could have easily escalated that. And all that would have done is sucked my energy to someone I really don't know. When he has to fight his own battles of why he can't have the courage to do the same. Because a real player will never take the time to start belittling or diminishing the actions of others. A real player just won't do that. They don't have time for it because they're focused on their business and minding their own business. not trying to throw off others. So, reason number one to not engage into online arguments. Reason number one, you probably already got this solution, is it's pointless. Absolutely pointless. You will never win. It'll go into place, it can easily escalate, which is step number two, but it's just very pointless. You don't know who this person is. Oftentimes there's a history there that has nothing to do with you. So why argue something that you're not going to win? You won't win an argument, a political conversation. You won't win a religious conversation. You won't win, any social views that you have. You just won't win it. All you can do is like the post. Let them rant on. Or block them, which I've done a number of times. I've witnessed a couple arguments this weekend. And I'm like, who in the hell is this guy? A local broker? What? What is he doing? That's my opinion. But I'm not going to sit there and start criticizing him on a social platform. My solution? Block. There were things he was saying that I didn't agree with. But I'm not going to argue that. I now see a deeper level of who he is, and that's okay. It's okay if people block you. Your job is just to be the authentic you, right? And maybe that was his authentic self. It didn't match up with who I am or what I believe in or the commitment I have. So, as opposed to sitting there wasting time, block them. You don't deserve any of my energy. Zero. Nothing. I don't even know you. I don't know how I even saw this post. But I saw it. Didn't like it. I'm not running away from problems. I'm protecting my sanity, my energy. I got better shit to do. That's what I'm doing. Number two, it escalates quickly. You don't know what this other person is capable of. You don't realize how much time they may have. So why even take that challenge on? You don't know. They might be a keyboard warrior where they have plenty of time. That's all they do after they after they leave their job. They disconnect from their family and all they do is have the time to pick apart your argument, to pick you apart as a person. And it escalates quickly. I remember there was two local brokers, or the brothers, own a brokerage here locally. They disagreed with something that I said. Brokers. And they start, saying some stuff. I'm like, hey, just, get off my page. I think one of them challenged me to a fight. I think these guys were like 45, and then his older brother gets on. I was trying to look for the post here. But it escalated quickly. I could have easily ignored him. But I decided to offend my ego about something. Next thing you know, I got two brothers. Probably the next step was, hey, meet me here at, this address so we could so we could resolve this. I'm like, oh, Lord. Jeez. What the hell was I doing? But guess what? It was a spectacle for others. A spectacle for others just because I couldn't contain myself. Just because you couldn't contain yourself. You needed to put yourself out there. You needed to argue this point. Because it's completely against what you believe in. It's like, for what? For what? Go back to step number one. It's pointless. Pointless. It's going to take away from your business. It's going to take away from your family. You're going to question yourself. You're going to question your efforts. Why go down that slippery slope? Why dig yourself out of that hole? Avoid them. Or you might end up at a fight with two brothers, broker brothers. Finally, number three, it's just sucks your energy. You'll start thinking about that. It'll bleed into other aspects of your life, all to prove yourself right. We only have a limited amount of energy we can withstand every single day, that we're willing to exude every single day. And how we use that energy will determine the success of your life. If we had a unlimited resource of energy, okay, maybe we have a different conversation. But because we have stressors every single day, we already have things that are stressing us out about our business, about our family, about our health. There's so many things that are already happening to us, right? That we don't need to bring on more. Because when you bring on more, it doesn't create more production in anything you do. In fact, it debilitates you. So with all these other things you have going on, the marketing responsibilities, sales responsibility, the delivering for your clients, the things that go down inside a private home with your kids, your wife, or your husband. We have so many stressors outside of our own lives as well. Financial obligations. Why put one more thing on top of us? It's going to be pointless. And you don't know how far it's going to escalate. And you think you can go low. There's people out there that are willing to go very low. Very low. And it's up to you to just stop it, ignore it, block them, or just agree with them. Hey, great. One word response. Yes. That's exactly why. Guys, protect your sanity. Protect your ability to be able to produce at a high level. Real players don't engage in these games. They don't. It's up to you to realize that you're a player in this game. And not to get sucked in by the opinions of strangers. Block them. Now you really know them. They're not really in line with what your vision is. So just ignore them. All right, let's go ahead and go down the line here. I know I can't go all the way to the top, but good morning, Isabel, Nick, Claudia, thank you for joining me, Adrian, Liz, Dallas, what are you guys getting out of this? Teresa, Beatrice, Patrick, Brianna, good morning, Wendy, Susan, Jeanette, Gabe, good morning, David, what's going on, my brother? Omar, good morning. The screen keeps freezing to me. Anybody else? It was freezing a little bit. I think we took care of that. I'm not sure if we were connected online or not. But we do have it recorded. Sorry about that, brother. Who else do we got? Adriana, Jeanette, Teresa, and Nick. Should have called me. I have your back. David, I had two big brothers, man. They were going to kick my butt. But it escalates quickly. But it had nothing to do with me. The growth of this brokerage did. My actions triggered them. Had nothing to do with whatever I posted up. So you got to understand that. You don't have time to respond to them because it was already historically there. They're already feeling that pressure because they've been in the business 10 years longer than I have. And they've been unwilling to do what we're doing here at A's and Associates. So it has nothing to do with me. So why get caught up in that game? No one really knows what you've done to get what you have. So why even bring that, why even engage in that? It's pointless. But next time, David, if they decide to gang up on me again, first I'm going to call Jeanette, then Carla, then I'll call you, David. I'm kidding, brother. I'm kidding. You know, I love you. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me for another episode of Mindset Mastery. Let's protect our sanity. Let's protect our energy and go out there and produce at a high level. That is your job right there. Thank you again, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye now.